everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel Isham. Well, today we've got another story time video. So if you don't know, or if you're new to my channel, I have kind of a series, I guess, on my channel of story times where I tell different stories from my personal life, things that have happened. Way back when I had my channel, I think I told some story times about some school dances I had gone to. More recently, I had a video that was all about my college experience now that I'm graduated. Also, if you haven't watched before, I do have cats. This is just one. This is Athena. Athena, meet the world. So we are going to do a story time video today. And today's story is going to be about my experience with online dating, specifically Tinder. Yeah, in case you can't see the wheels going in my head, I'm thinking about why I'm deciding to do this video, but it's okay, it's fine, it's fine. So I graduated high school in 2017. Started college that same fall, and then I started using Tinder for dating in, I want to say July, sometime in the summer of 2018. So if you watched my video before this, you know that this is an issue also with the cats discovering the tripod. No. So don't mind that if the camera is shaky. It's not me, it's because of the cat. Really? Can you not? Hold on. Hold on, everybody. Get... Okay. I think we're back in business. Also, if you ever watch my videos, can you comment and let me know which filming location you like? I think I filmed now... I think I filmed in every room in our house. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But let me know which one you like, which background kind of vibes. I kind of like this. It feels kind of aesthetic. This window's kind of annoying because you can see the sun coming in, but I can't change that. What was I saying? In my brain, I just hear the Jeopardy theme music. Waiting on me to get my shit together. Whatever thought was there is gone. So we'll just start off where I would like to. I don't know. So I had a summer job for summer 2018. I was a summer resident assistant for this one program. It was a 6-week program, so it went from June until about mid-July, and when we came back from that trip and I actually had more of my summer to myself, that is when I tried Tinder for online dating. And I just have to say, a lot of what people say about Tinder and how it's kind of shitty and you end up with a lot of weirdos and a lot of bullshit that happens, that's absolutely true. I won't even try to lie to you. I went on a lot of dates. A lot. Between that midsummer of 2018 all the way through until spring semester started 2019. Yeah, I won't go into a lot of details, and I won't use anybody's names because that's not cool. But yeah, it was definitely an experience. One thing I will say is that you meet a lot of people using that app. So I went to UW Superior, and that is just one campus in town. There's another college campus. It's a community college in Superior. There's also 2 regular universities in Duluth, which is very close. It's less than a 10-minute drive. And there's a couple of community or technical colleges there as well. So kind of people in my age range. When I was 19, I felt kind of trapped on campus with trying to meet people, and I was a psych major, so yeah, basically it was all women in my classes. There wasn't really a lot of people. And then like because I was an RA, like for me, like it wasn't actually like a rule, but for me, like anybody who worked in residence life, whether that was my building or other buildings, was completely off limits because I didn't want to mix my personal and professional lives. That also meant that anybody who like I lived with or anybody who was like kind of in like the same living space as me was also off limits, since I was kind of an authority or a leadership figure and I was running a freshman hall. Like, so I felt like very isolated, if that makes sense. So like I had like my group of friends, but like, yeah, like I didn't want to be like super good friends with all my coworkers. I couldn't be super close or like friends or to date with any of like the residents of the building or residents of like similar buildings. So just like it felt like I was kind of trying to go off of nothing, if that makes sense. I don't know. I might stop and then restart this video. This is kind of, I don't know how this is going. We'll see though. I've had some technical difficulties today. There was some house chaos today, so I might just do it to get it done with. Plus it's like 95 degrees and my hair looks like shit. So, gonna film while I can. So that was kind of why I wanted to use Tinder. I had just gotten out of a different relationship. It had been a long distance relationship. Started when I was a senior in high school, went through like most of my first year of college. Not all of it, but most of it. And I just felt like it was time. And with having those limited options on my own campus or limited, I guess, opportunities within like people that I knew, it just felt like it would be helpful, or it might be like the right thing. I did go on quite a few dates. Not like actually in relationships with people, but just kind of, you know, like 1 or 2 dates, or maybe get to like a third day. That was kind of a little more rare. There were some kind of good experiences. I mean, like, you know, anytime that you like go on dates with people, like you're going to like get to know them and to like, you know, like have fun and like go do something. So like I did have a lot of fun during that time. There were some people that, how do I put this politely? Well, I'm not really all that polite when I have the truth to say. So the truth is, there's some people I regret having gone out with or having dated, but that was a time. You know, there was this one thing in the fall where like I thought things were going to work out with this one guy, and things seemed to be going really great, and he pulled the whole I'm not ready for a relationship thing. Which, I mean, could be true, but most of the time I feel like that's just an easy out instead of like, you know, like working through things or just admitting like, hey, like I don't see it working like between us, or you're not really my type, or like you're not exactly like what I'm looking for right now, which is like a totally fine thing to admit. Like I would rather have that happen, like to have a guy say to me like, you know, like I don't really have feelings for you, like I don't want to go out with you anymore, than to have someone like ghost me or just like pretend like there's like those other issues that aren't like super issues. If you watched either mine or my husband's Truth or Drink video, you know the story about one guy I was dating in the fall. That was a shit show. A complete shit show. The whole thing. It was just a shit show. All around. I kind of had like bad vibes off of him like within the first like, I would say like week or so of dating, but I just felt like stuck, and it took a lot to actually end that relationship. It only lasted for like a month, maybe a little more. But yeah, that's one that I regret. I wish hadn't happened. And then following that relationship, because I was trying to avoid that guy, I was kind of involved with this other dude during my like winter break for a little bit, and I just felt like that wasn't really fair of me to do, to kind of be running from one relationship or like one like person and like kind of using that other person as like a safe measure, if that makes sense. So I do feel like a little bit of a bad person for that, but it was a choice on my part to help myself. And then that guy during winter break didn't actually want to like date me anyways after we'd gone out like a few times and kind of hung out, and then it was just kind of not really a thing. Like, he wasn't super my type anyway, so I wasn't like super mad. I was kind of like, you know, like, this is something different I'm trying, like, also, so like I wasn't really super hurt. After that, in January of 2019 is when I met my now husband. Yep, so we met on Tinder. Actually, this is actually kind of a funny story. So the very first conversation we had was the first day that we matched. So like on Tinder, if you don't know, you have to like either like or dislike people on there. So like swiping left is like to dislike, and swiping to the right is to like them. And you can only like talk to people or like match if both of you like each other, like on the app. So I feel like that's a really good safety feature, that like random ass people can message you. It has to be somebody that like you've also like at least kind of shown interest in by like, you know, swiping right on them. So wait, did I get those directions messed up? I think it's left and right. I never trusted it. They also had like buttons that was like a heart for like and then an X for like no. And I just used those because I had accidentally like swiped the wrong direction, or like my brain like malfunctioned a couple of times and I didn't want that to happen. So my husband and I, the very first conversation we had was about books, about like book recommendations and everything. And then he stopped talking to me for 3 weeks. And like after it first happened, I was like, oh, like that's kind of sad, like whatever, like maybe this guy had potential, but whatever. So I was like talking to like other people, going on other dates, whatever. And then I had one like really bad date experience. God, this might need to be a separate story. I see we're already running on like 12 minutes here. Yeah, this was like the level of date that was like so bad. Like I was living in dorms, so my coworkers all like we all lived like together basically. Like we each had our own floors, but we all like lived in the same space. I actually had to text one of my coworkers and I was like, dude, like SOS, like I need your help right now. I do not care what kind of fake ass emergency you make up, but like you need to come like knock on my door or call me or like come into my room and like interrupt this date so he has a reason to leave. Like it was that bad. And you know, like you don't want to be rude to be like, I'm not vibing with you or you're fucking weird, like get out, you know? So like so my friend, I won't say her name, but my friend, yeah, so she came up to my room, and she, like, pounded on my door, you know, like, the way that RAs knock, and so I, like, opened the door, and I'm like, what's going on? And, like, ooh, and she's like, oh my god, like, there's this, like, thing, and I don't know what to do, and, like, there's a problem with this resident, and I need your help, and I was like, sorry, date man, like, you gotta go, I gotta go to work, like, right now. And I feel kind of bad. I feel kind of bad that happened. I feel bad that I did that instead of just being straight up to be like, listen, like, this isn't gonna work. I was straight up with him after, you know, I was like, he was trying to set up another date, and I was like, hey, listen, like, this just isn't going to work. Like, whatever, like, you thought was gonna happen between us is not gonna happen. Like, not at all. And not to say that he was, like, I don't know, like, he wasn't, like, mean or aggressive or, like, anything like that, but, like, just so many bad vibes. So, like, I'm a super organized person, right? I mean, you can see my background, like, our bed is made, like, everything is straightened up, there's nothing on our stand except, like, my water and a picture. So this man's comes into, like, my, like, dorm room, we were gonna hang out and, like, watch a movie, and he, like, saw how, like, organized all my stuff was, and he was like, wow, you have the makings of a psychopath. And I was like, what? I was like, why do you say that? And he was like, oh, because you're, like, so organized and, like, so, like, anal about all this and, like, everything, like, has a place. And I was like, yeah. It's like, because I work with my residents for, like, a living. Like, people come in and out of my room all the time. Like, you know, like, my coworkers are in here, my friends come over, like, my residents have to come into my room, my family comes to visit me, like, you know, not only do I like living in an organized space, but, like, when, like, my private space and, like, also my workspace are combined, like, it has to be like that. So I was like, right off the bat, I was like, oh my god. this is gonna be bad. It's gonna be so bad. And then, oh, I don't even know if I should tell this part. Fuck it. Fuck it. He's not gonna know this is him. And if you do watch this, date man from years ago, sorry I didn't tell you at the time. But yeah, so this guy came in, and like, so like in a dorm, you know, like you walk in like the front door, you have to go up to like whoever's room, and then like normally you would like take off your jacket, your shoes or whatever once you're in the room. So he took his shoes off, and oh my god, I thought I was going to throw up. I'm not joking. Like, it smelled so bad. Like, okay, like picture inside your brain, or like feel with like your nostrils, like the worst, like dirty, sweaty sock, foot, boot smell. Like, this is probably what I imagine like a boy's locker room would smell like. Like, it was so gross, and I was like, oh my god, and like his socks just looked like dirty, and I was like, oh my god, like he's walking on like my carpet, and then like would like sit in like the chair or sit on the bed, and we were gonna watch a movie, and it was just so gross, and I was like freaking out, and it was so bad, it was so bad, it was so bad. And like the whole time during the movie, he was just like so like critical of it, of like the choice and stuff, and it was so weird, and like, oh, it was just not good. So my friend came and rescued me, and it was actually a funny story, because my co-worker, so I worked a co-ed floor, so on every co-ed floor there's supposed to be one male and one female RA. So my male co-worker, what happened was I had tried messaging him a couple of times to come save me from this date, because like obviously like he lived closer, like we lived on the same floor, where like this other co-worker, she lived on a different floor, so it had taken more time, but he was at his other job, so he couldn't like get back to me. But he ended up, I can't remember if he texted or called me, whatever. We like talked as soon as he came back, and he like came over after his other job, and after I'd been saved from this date, and had like told the friend who had saved me about all of it. So I was in my room, and he comes over, and mind you, this is like hours later, like a long time. Like, I probably got rescued from this date around like 6 o'clock, and it wasn't until like 10 p.m. that my like other coworker like came over to my room, and we like talked about the whole thing, and I told him the whole story. And as soon as he walked into my room, he was like, oh my god, what is that smell? And I was like, I was not joking when I told you that it like smelled that bad. I'm not joking. My room smelled for like 3 days. I Lysol'd the shit out of like all of the surfaces of the chair he was sitting in, of the floor. I had my window open. I had a fan in my room for days. I had my door open. Like, I mean, normally when I was working, I'd have my door open anyways. But all of that, and it still smelled days later. And yeah, now it's kind of a funny story, but at the time it was mortifying. I could not believe it, and it was the grossest thing, like having my room smell that bad. Not to discourage anybody from using Tinder, because not everybody is like that you meet. You'll have a really great time with some people. Even some people that I didn't end up staying in a relationship with, or I didn't end up having a relationship with, it was still fun, right? Like, you go out, you go to dinner. There's this place in Duluth called Adventure Zone where you can play laser tag or mini golf a couple times. I did first dates there doing like laser tag, and that's super fun, right? So you don't always have bad experiences off of Tinder, but they're not always the greatest. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what else. A second date I went on. I'm going to keep it short because I see the time. I see that we're running long here. Another one, I went on a first date with a dude. Wasn't really sure if it vibed too well. He kind of gave me a little bit of weird vibes, so I was like, okay, like maybe a second date. Like, we only had like a coffee for our first date, so it wasn't very long. So we went out to dinner. And I was 19 at the time. So we were going to a nice-ish restaurant. And, you know, there's like traffic and stuff. Like, Duluth in the summertime is like super touristy. Like, you can't get anywhere for anything, literally ever. So we met in Duluth. I was running a little bit late and everything, and I like told him that. I was like, hey, like, I'm on my way, like, traffic sucks, I'll be there soon. And I walk in, and I, like, go up to the hostess to be like, hey, like, I'm here to, like, meet a guy for a date. This is his name. This is kind of what he looks like. And she's like, yeah, he's waiting at the bar. Yeah. So right off the bat, starting the second date bad, he's sitting at the bar drinking, waiting for me, who was an underage person. I couldn't even drink yet. Like, I could barely vote. I was like 1 year out from like my legal right to like participate in this country as a citizen, and like waiting for me to go have like a brandy with him. And then he ordered lobster tail at dinner. And I just, for reference, I ordered chicken tacos. Like, I thought this would be like a normal kind of like summer dinner date, and this man ordered a lobster tail, and the only thing he talked about the whole time at this date was the weather and movies. He didn't talk about one single thing about himself, about me, about, you know, possible future. You know, like, sometimes he'll bring that up, be like, oh, like, I want this in my future, or like, you know, like, none of that. It was the weather and movies and his lobster tail. So yeah, I really don't want to discourage anybody from using Tinder or any similar apps, because not all of those experiences are going to be so crazy and wild and just not so great. You can have a lot of really wonderful experiences, really. Like, I just told you a couple of like bad stories, but there are really great times. Like my husband and I's first date, we did a bunch of stuff. We went to the mall, we went out to dinner, we went and played laser tag the next morning. We went and had breakfast, like, you know, like we had like multiple dates within that same weekend. It was super fun. It was great. You know, other guys that I've gone out with, if you know Bentleyville in Superior, it's kind of like a Christmas light show. I've done that on a date, and that's super fun. You know, walk around, drink hot chocolate, look at the lights. Like, you can have a lot of cool experiences. You could even meet your future spouse, like I did. You just gotta weed out all those weirdos. So, I hope that something about this was entertaining. I'm not really sure. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and comment or subscribe. Let me know which story was your favorite, or if you've had any either good or bad experiences using a dating app of some sort. Man, I don't know what is going on. My eye is like itchy. Okay. We're good. Yeah, so I think that is all that I have for today. I will see you guys in my next video though. So thank you all for watching. Bye!